So here we have Bitcoin, and we're going to figure out whether this was one massive bull trap or not, because we have broke out of the range and then fallen back into it. So that doesn't look very good, and we're going to talk about what level we need to close below in order to confirm that this is a bull trap and that we will have bearish divergence on a higher time frame. So right now your moving averages have curled over, 21 and your 50 have curled over. So if they cross this 100, if this 50 crosses this 100, that's going to be one of my signals. We have talked about it before. If you're not familiar with it, go back to the video called Trade Breakdown. Watch it and make money, because I do show you my signal, my strategy, and I do go over it in depth. You can copy it if you want. So yeah, check out that video if you're interested. So if this 50 crosses at 100, that is not going to look good. We could come back up for a retest of said moving averages and then continue down. Right now your RSI on the 1 hour, pretty deep in the bearish control zone, coming up from some oversold regions, MACD, which are momentum oscillators. Your RSI and your MACD are momentum oscillators. Your BBWP is a volatility measurement. Right now your MACD strong downside curvature. Looks like it could be curling around a bit. Possibly we come up for a retest of the signal line. If we cross the signal line and this RSI gets out of the bearish control zone, that would look pretty bullish. We would also need to break back above the 21 and break back out of this range. So right now I'm looking at the 50 and the top of this range, because it could be a fake out both ways. But right now, I mean, we have broken out of the range pretty strongly, but we've fallen back into it. That never looks good. Right now, your BBWP looks like it's going to cross its moving average to the downside. So we could consolidate here for a minute, converging against the 200. Now, if the 200 gets above us and we're being held down by it, it's not going to be a good sign. So let's move on to the 4 hour. Actually, we're going to go here. This is the 8 hour. All right, so we did get above this bearish supply order block, but we've fallen back below it. Now we are sitting at basically right above the 20 SMA, which is your middle band on your Bollinger Bands. Right now your stochastic, bouncing off that neutral median line. Well, let's see here. Basically bouncing off the bearish control zone. You are curling back around, so if you can cross this signal line and your other momentum oscillators turn bullish, we could just have a fake out both ways. Now, if this is a retest and a resumption down and you break this last low in the stochastic, it's going to kind of feed into the case that that was a bull trap. All right, let's go back down to the 4 hour. So here on your 4 hour, you do have bearish divergence from this point to this point on the RSI. Also on your MACD, bearish divergence on both. Your MACD fresh cross to the downside of the signal line. Negative momentum is increasing on this histogram right here. BBWP on the 4 hour, though, looks like it's going to cross its moving average to the upside. So like I said, on the 1 hour, we can consolidate a little bit, but I think the move is still coming. The move has started. That doesn't mean that we can't come up to back to the top of the range and have another fake out, maybe at this 21. But we're going to find out. The 21's basically coming in at, by the time it gets down, it's going to be about 2,900. All right. So bearish control zone on your RSI coming back up for a retest. If we can get out of the bearish control zone and get back above this neutral median line, that would look good. If we get rejected from the top of the bearish control zone and break this last low, I expect us to go deep into the bearish control zone. Right now, your MACD, like I said, or BBWP on your 4 hour is crossing its moving average to the upside. Let's move on to the 8 hour. So right now, you are in the upper zone for your BBWP, so the volatility will continue for now at least. You are bouncing off of that neutral median line. If you break this last low and the neutral median line, I expect you to get a test and a bounce at the bearish control zone, but then I do expect you to enter it. So a lot of a lot of shit's important right now. You got a fresh MACD cross to the downside, negative momentum starting to pick up. And let's move on to the daily, and then I want to talk about something real quick. Okay, so here on your daily, this is where the rubber meets the road. You got a fresh cross to the downside on the RSI, but it's the current tick. All right, we have 13 hours and 18 minutes left. MACD curling over. If you get a retest and resumption, we're probably going to go to 22,500. If you get a cross to the downside, we're probably going to go to 18. Your positive momentum is decreasing on the histogram. BBWP is at a very, very low read. That's what I'm saying. This move is about to happen. Once it crosses, once it gets out of the 10% region and gets above that moving average, a big ass move is coming. Right now, you're being held up by the daily 100. So if we break that, I would expect this to come down to 20,350, then 20,150, get a small bounce at the 20K mark, then head down to 18,500. All right. Another thing is that we could have bearish divergence here, slightly, but from this point to this point. Could have bearish divergence. Also, another drive from this point to this point. So if you close below 20,450 on a daily, we will have confirmed 2 drives of bearish divergence and a lower high on the weekly. You have to get back above 22,000 in order to make your way up to that 24,500 mark. All right, but I do expect that if we can break the 22, or hold on, the 22,000. If we can get above 22,000, I would expect us to head up to the 24,500 level. Right now, your weekly RSI is in the bearish control zone. You are above the signal line right now, but you have to get out of the bearish control zone in order to work your way up to that number. Pretty fresh cross to the upside. Positive momentum is increasing, so we got some bullish and bearish variables right here. Weekly, BBWP is very low. I would expect this to go a little lower, probably to maybe the 2 to 1%, and then turn around. And then that's when the big ass move is coming, either to 24,500 or to 18K, maybe even 16.5. 16.5 is the level I'm looking for, but that doesn't mean that we can't go up to 24, 25K first. All right, let's go back down to the 1 hour, talk about the bullish and bearish cases again. Bullish case is that you break 21K, get it back above this last high, and back above the 50, and back above the top of the range. That would be confirmed bear trap. All right, confirmed bull trap would be to get back below, we'll say 20,500. 20,500 is what I'm looking at right now. If that happens, this would be a confirmed bull trap. We're probably going to head lower. All right, so that's about it for Bitcoin. If you guys like this video, like and subscribe to the channel. Check out the links in the description below. One being the Discord. It is the place to be. Very active, some good traders, some good knowledge. We stay ahead of this market collectively. We talk about these moves before they happen. All right, so let's move on to Ethereum. Ethereum, similar story besides the fact you're getting them. Wow, you're getting a massive multi-crossover right here. If this 50 crosses the 100 and these moving averages start to fan out, I would expect Ethereum to go a lot lower. I would expect Ethereum to go to 1,300. Okay, but they need to fan out. We need a fan out confirmation. All right. Right now, your RSI trying to get out of the bearish control zone, but if we can't get out, it's not going to look good. Right now, we have bullish divergence, but that's probably already playing out. Could come up, test of 21 and the 200 at 1590. We get rejection from there, it's going to look like shit because we're going to have a lower high, and the multi-crossover is probably going to be confirmed if we break down below that signal line on the RSI. Right now, your MACD is below its signal line. If we get a retest and resumption, Not going to look good, but negative momentum on the histogram is decreasing. If we can get back above that signal line, that will be a bullish variable. Right now, your BBWP is crossing its moving average to the downside, so we could consolidate here for a bit, possibly sitting below maybe the 21 and the 200, probably being held down. Ethereum don't look too good right now. Let's move on to the 4 hour. Right now, your 4 hour making, nope. Okay, so are making a higher low. Your RSI is trying to get out of the bearish control zone. We still got our signal line up at the neutral median line, so that's going to be major resistance. See, at the 50 level, I want to check something out because my RSI has a reverse function. So we'll go up to the 50 and see what price level we would have to beat in order to get back above there. 50. So, okay, so 1596. So that kind of coincides with that 1590 level. All right. That's when we need to get above the signal line and the neutral median line. MACD fresh cross to the downside. Negative momentum is increasing on the histogram. BBWP getting above its moving average. Need to see this moving average get a positive slope before the move really begins. Let's move on to the 8 hour. 8 hour higher lows, higher highs, bearish divergence. Could be playing out right now. Right now we're being held down by the 21. We have 2 drives of bearish divergence below your signal line, bouncing off that bearish control zone. If we get rejected from this neutral median line and come back down to the bearish control zone, I would expect to enter it if we break this last low in the RSI. So we're playing out bullish divergence right now. Actually, you have 2 drives of bullish divergence, but the bearish divergence has already played out. You're being held down by the 21. MACD, retest, and resumption. Negative momentum is increasing a bit on the histogram. I would like to see it get back above this back below this last low in order to be bearish. BBWP looks like it's going to come back down. If we can stay above the moving average and stay above the upper zone, I would expect the volatility to continue. Now, remember, midterms. Okay, midterms are going to have a lot of volatility behind it. Right now, all your major moving averages are above each other. If this 21 or if this 100 can cross the 200 and they fan out to the upside, that'll be a bullish variable. Now, if this 21 curls over and crosses 50, it's not going to look good. It's not going to look good. Let's go to the daily. Right now, daily, higher lows, higher highs, getting rejected from the bullish control zone. If we can get back above this signal line and back above this last high, I would expect us to break these last highs on the RSI and get deeper in the bullish control zone. Right now, your MACD coming back down for a retest of the signal line. Positive momentum is decreasing. If it crosses this signal line, I would expect 1300 to be in the cards. BBWC in this BBWP is very, very low. Right now, we're sitting at the 13% region. If we can get a positive slope, get back above this moving average, that's when the massive move is going to happen, either the 1300 or 1900. So stay nimble right now. All right. Once again, if you guys like this video, like and subscribe to the channel. Check out the Discord. Definitely join the Discord. It is the place to be. Right now, you're stochastic, trying to cross that signal line to the upside. Okay, if we can, we're on the current tick though. If we can cross that, it's going to look pretty good. We are bouncing. We did get in the bearish control zone. Now we're basically sitting at the top of it. Let's see, are we at the 45? So we are sitting at the top of the bearish control zone. If we can get out of that, that'll be a bullish variable. Right now, we fell below the bearish order block, which is a supply block. And right now we're being held down by it and the middle band of the Bollinger Bands, which is a 20 SMA. So let's go back, talk about the bullish and bearish case. Bullish case, we need to get all the way back above 1660. 1660 is what I'm looking at, because you got this multi-cross over the moving average. If you can get back above 1600, which is a level we talked about before, I would expect you to get back to 1630. If you can break that, I would expect you to get back to 1660. But you have to break 1660, get out of the bearish control zone, MACD cross its signal line to the upside, start printing some dark green bars on that histogram as your BBWP gets back above its moving average. That's the bullish case. Bearish case is pretty simple. You break 1550, you're going to get a bounce, 1510, but you're probably going down to 1300. That would also imply that we break this signal line to the downside on the RSI, get a retest and resumption on the MACD, as your BBWP curls around, stays in this upper zone with the moving average having a positive slope. Could be getting front ran right now from the 21 and the 200. Obviously, we need to break 1590 in order to even try to get up to 1600. 1600 is the level to beat, because then 1630 and 1660 is in the cards. All right, so let's move on to Solana. Solana. All right. Looks like shit, boys and ladies. Looks like we're going to have a multi-crossover. If we do have a multi-crossover at this downside curvature in a fan-out confirmation, that is going to look like shit. Once again, it is respecting our purple box. Right now, your RSI coming out of that oversold region. Get back above your signal line. This could be a bounce. We could get a bounce up to $33. That would be about as high as I think we go, especially if that 50 crosses at 100. Right now, your MACD, strong downside curvature. Your negative momentum is starting to wane. That's what I'm saying. I think we get a little bounce here. BBWP is very, very high. A lot of opportunity with Solana. If you shorted this from closure to closure, you got an 18.5% move. A lot of opportunity in Solana right now. We did cross the moving average, so we could consolidate here for a bit, maybe slightly go up. We got the POC point of control and the VPVR coming in here to the right, which measures horizontal volume at a certain price level. We could get the bounce to there, maybe 32.30. By then, your 21 will probably work its way somewhere in there. You could get a wick maybe above, but we'll find out. All right, let's go to the 4-hour real quick. RSI trying to bounce off the bottom of the bearish control zone. The bounce could probably lead us up to the 45, which is basically the top of the bearish control zone, possibly get a retest and resumption down. Right now, your MACD just crossed your zero line. This looks like shit. Your negative momentum is broken all major lows except for this one right here, which it is testing right now on the histogram. Your BBWP is very high. I think it's still above its moving average. So we're printing some dark red bars right here. Probably going to print more of them. All right. Like I said, you could get a bounce to about $33, which is where your 50 on your 4 hours coming in at. All right. That's where I think we get the bounce to if we get the bounce. All right. Let's move on to the 8-hour. 8-hour trying to bounce. Oh, okay. Enter the bearish control zone. Come back up for a retest. If we break this last low on the RSI, that is going to look bad. Negative momentum in the histogram is increasing as you get a fresh cross, 2 ticks of the signal line from the MACD. Right now, you are high volatility. High volatility. Still above your moving average, still in the upper zone. Let's go to the daily. Right now, your daily just crossed its signal line to the downside, finding support on the neutral median line. MACD curling over. Positive momentum is pretty stable. We'll find out whether we get to the zero line. If we get to the zero line and print one dark red bar, I would say this thing's going down. Right now, your BBWP is working its way up, trying to get above that moving average, basically retesting it right now. But this move right here is going to start to expand the volatility. So it's either we get a bounce or we resume down. All right. Either way, I think we go down, for Solana at least. Let's go to the order blocks for Solana. Okay, so right now you have fallen below so many order blocks. You got so much resistance in front of you. Stochastic is trying to get out of this oversold region right now. Okay, so let's see. You have bullish divergence. That kind of plays into our bounce scenario. You do have bullish divergence from this point to this point, slightly, very slightly bullish divergence. But we're going to have a lot of resistance here. We could get up to, let's see, check that out. $33 comes in right at your 20 SMA, which is your middle Bollinger Band, and this double bearish supply block. Okay, so that plays into that bounce, the $33 bounce. All right, so like I said, we could get up there. I really don't think we get above there right now. Let's go to the daily. Right now, stochastic, pretty strong downside curvature, finding support on a bullish demand block and your 20 EM SMA. Right now being held down by the POC point of control in the VPVR here. If we can get above that, I think that's when we can get up to that $33 mark. But we got quite a bit to go. We're at 31.72 right now. Let's go back to the bullish and bearish case. Let's refresh. All right, so bullish case is that we break this last high and this 20 SMA, your middle band, $33. That's the bullish case, is that you break $33. I think you come all the way up to the top of this block at 36. Stochastic on the 1 hours. Strong upside curvature, starting to increase. Trying to get out of that bearish control zone, coming down from some low reads and bullish divergence, I think. Let's see. I wouldn't even say that's bullish divergence. But let's see what this lines up with. Check it out, $33. Once again, you're on the 1 hour. Oh, we already covered that. Sorry. All right, so bullish case. Break this last high. Oh, no. $33. But first, we would need to break, $33. That would break this last high and the 21 and the 200. I would expect a rejection at 33.75. Also another one at 34.50. If we can break 34.50, I would also expect a rejection at 35.85. But ultimately, I think we would come up, break that last high, and get up to $38. Basically right where this last high is, actually. Bearish case, easy. You break the bottom of the purple box. You break the bottom of that purple box, you're either going to 29.50, anywhere from 29.50 to 28.30. And then if we break that, we're going to the depths and we'll come back to it. All right, so there is Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Solana. If you guys like this video, like and subscribe to the channel. Support the channel in a bear market. Check out the links in the description below. One being Bybit. Bybit's got a pretty good promotion right now. My link is in the description below. Also, check out the Discord. Discord is the place to be. Come check it out. You'll see what I'm talking about. Very active. Talk about these moves before they happen. If you got, everyone have a great morning, great afternoon, great evening. I will see you tomorrow.